Hi, I'm Darlene.
And I'm Marty. We've had lots of people ask us, how do you prepare for a long trip away from home? We're snowbirds. We plan to spend 4, 5, 6, maybe more months away in Mexico every year. So here's a few ideas for you to help you prepare.
So this is part one of the video, basically things you have to do to prepare, and part two, which we'll do later, will be things that you should think about taking with you. Okay, let's get going. Woohoo! So I'm going to try and break this down into three different sections. One is just general things you need to do. Two would be things to do inside your home or your condo or townhouse. And the third one will be things to do outside your home. So if you're in a condo or an apartment, this may not apply to you, but you'll be able to just skip by that point. So let's get into it. The first thing you should do, and you should start doing that now, is switching all of your mail over to digital mail, to email. So whether it's bank statements or subscriptions, utility bills, get that all switched over now to come in your emails instead. That way you can see your accounts no matter where you are, and you don't have to worry about your mailbox being filled up and wasting paper. So, number one. The next thing is medical prescriptions. So I have a couple prescriptions that I take, and here in Canada we can, or in BC anyways, we can only get like 3 months supply at a time. So you want to make sure that you've got as much prescription with you as you can take. If it's something that's not available where you're going, you want to talk to your doctor and your pharmacist and try and get a larger supply of that prescription before you go. The couple of prescriptions that I take are easily and readily available in Mexico where we're going, and at a very economical price. So I'll just go with my 3 month supply, and when I'm done that, I'll just purchase more from the pharmacy there. It's not a big deal. I've done it before. The next thing you want to look into is travel medical insurance. Now, when Marty and I were still working, part of our benefit package was travel insurance, medical insurance, dental insurance, all of that. So we didn't have to worry. But now that we're retired, we no longer have that nice package. So we have to purchase travel medical insurance separately. If we go to a doctor or a dentist in Mexico, we just pay out of pocket because we find their fees very reasonable. But in case of a major medical event, you definitely want to have that travel medical insurance purchased as a backup, because honestly, you can go bankrupt if you had a major medical event. Now, one thing that I always do is I designate one person as my contact person for the time that I'm going to be away. For example, I am designating my sister as my travel contact. So while I'm away, at least every 3 days, I have to contact her with a text. Just short and sweet. Hi, I'm alive. I'm okay. Have a nice day. Just to let her know that I'm okay. So designate one family member or friend to be your contact person. That person should have your entire itinerary of where you're going, where you're staying, what your flights are, contact of the hotel you're at, contact of the property manager of the place that you're renting. All that information they should have, just in case anything happens. The other important thing to do is always color photocopy your passport. Take one copy with you and keep it in a secure place once you get there. Give the other copy to your friend that is your travel contact. If your passport should get stolen, damaged, lost, it's so much easier to get that replaced if you have a copy of it. Now, when we go away, we put a hold on our cell phone plans. So our cell phone plans are about $100 a month between the two of us. And so we put a hold on them. It costs us $15 a month per phone, so $30 a month. and they put a hold on our phones. The phones won't work, but they keep our phone number for us. Then we go to Mexico. We have a Mexican SIM card with Telcel, and we purchase cell phone plans there. And those plans cost us about $12, $15 a month each phone. So we do still end up saving money, and we don't lose our phone number, and we both have a Mexican phone that we can use to do everything we need to do down there. Then we also put a vacation hold or a stoppage on our internet and our cable TV, who are both with the same provider. So that also costs us $15 for each service, so $30 a month to hold the service for us. Now, the one thing we didn't think about was we have security cameras around our property and doorbell camera. And last year when we went away, within a couple days, I noticed that they weren't working. I'm like, what the heck? What good are these if they're not even working while we're away? Anyways, we came home after a few months and they started working again. It's like, what the heck? Well, they don't work if you don't have any Wi-Fi or internet. So that's why they didn't work. So this year we know we will probably not cancel our internet so that our security system still works. Not much use having it otherwise, right? Make sure your banks are set up so that you can do international money transfers or anything like that that you have to do to pay your rent. For us, one of our banks, we have to go in and change it to our Mexican phone number before we go, because their only option is to text you a security code. Whereas Royal Bank and a couple other banks we deal with, you have the option of selecting answering your security questions or having an email code sent rather than a text. But whichever bank or credit union or financial institution you deal with, make sure that you've got that set up in advance so that you'll be able to do your banking or anything that's required financially. We always bring a couple of credit cards with us, at least two, just in case one gets blocked or there's any fraud or anything on one, then we've still got another one. And of course, our debit card, so that we can withdraw pesos from the bank, or whatever country you're in, you can easily withdraw from the ATM machines. Let's talk about a VPN. A VPN is a secure connection to servers worldwide, protecting your identity and location. It gives you a secure way to be online, to do your banking, stream your Netflix account, shopping, whatever. So we use NordVPN, and this is not sponsored by them. This is just the one that we like to use. So Nord, if you're listening, set us up. So what is VPN used for? So we take our laptop with us to Mexico, and we can connect it into the TVs there with a HDMI cable, and we can bring up our Netflix account. So we turn on the VPN, we say we're in Canada, we can now connect to our Canadian Netflix account and get all the shows that we normally watch. We also turn it on before we do any banking, so that the banks still think we're in Canada. As soon as it thinks you're somewhere else, it's going to want to send you security codes, and you may get locked out of your bank or out of your PayPal account, out of your shopping or your Amazon, which would be a disaster. So that's just some of the reasons to use a VPN. One thing to keep in mind, a VPN app will use your data. So on your phone or your iPad or whatever, I generally only turn that on if I'm at a public Wi-Fi, somewhere with a public Wi-Fi, and I have to do banking or anything financial or anything secure where I've got to put in passwords. Then I will turn it on, do that, and then I turn it off right away afterwards. So I'm not using up all of my data.
If you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Now here's something that I really encourage all travelers to do. If you're Canadian, register with Canadians Abroad. If you're an American, register with the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. Now, both of these are free services put on by the government of your country. And basically what it does is you register your trip, and then if there's an emergency where you are, or an emergency at home where someone's trying to get in touch with you, they know how to reach you. Also, the most important thing is if there's any information that you need because there could be a war or civil unrest or a pandemic, anything like that, you will be able to get that information. They know where you are, they know how to get you out. So very important, please do that. So if you're Canadian, you want to register with Travel Abroad, and the website is travel.gc.ca. If you're one of our American friends, you want to register with the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program, STEP for short, and that website is travel.state.gov. Very important thing to do. Now, the other thing is your vehicles. We have 2 vehicles. So the first thing you want to do is change your vehicle insurance to a storage insurance, that you're not paying for everything while you're away for those 5-6 months or whatever. So we change our car insurance to storage insurance. And then you want to research the best way to store your vehicle for an extended period of time. So for our vehicles, Marty puts our one car into our garage, and he connects a battery trickler thing just to keep some juice running to the battery so it doesn't seize up. And then his truck, he has a custom cover, like a tarp type thing that's made for that vehicle that goes over that, so that is secured on, and also has a battery trickler to it. And he also puts some of those damp rid containers inside the cabin, inside the area where you sit, to keep the moisture out, as well as peppermint oil, because that keeps the rats and rodents away from living in your truck while you're gone. So that's the things that we do for our vehicles. But like I said, research the best way to store your vehicle in the place that you live. We have a very wet environment, so that's what we have to do for our vehicles. So now we're going to move to things inside your house. Now, this might not all apply to all of you, but I think a good portion of it will. So the first thing we do is turn down the thermostats in the house. You don't need to keep your house at 22 degrees. We generally turn it down to about 16 degrees, except for one room. So the room at the front of the house, where it gets all the sun, all of the plants are moved into that room, and we keep that room a little bit warmer. Speaking of plants, the other thing you have to do is make sure you have a friend or neighbor that comes into the house at least a couple times a week and checks and makes sure everything's okay. If you live in a place that has snow, then you also want to make sure that someone is regularly shoveling the snow, just so that people driving by think that there's somebody home. If your driveway hasn't been shoveled for 2 months, it's very easy to see that that's a vacant house, and you don't want that. Next is replace all of the batteries in the smoke detectors in your house. You want to make sure those are working while you're gone. The other thing is our thermostats that control the heat in our house are run by battery. So we make sure that we replace all the batteries in the thermostats throughout the house. A couple years ago, we went away for a couple of months, and when we came home, it's like, it's freezing in here. Why is it so cold? Well, about 4 of the thermostats, the batteries had died in them all at the same time, because when we built the house, everything went in at the same time. So now we know, replace the batteries. You may also want to set up timers on some lights throughout your house to come on at different times, whether that's an external plug-in thing or through an app on your phone. You can do that. We have lights in our backyard, and we have a programmable light on our front. yard. So we will make sure that we change the times on those to come on when it's dark, because it's, you have shorter days in the winter when we're gone. So we'll change that. Okay, things to do outside your house. Now, if you own a house, these are things that you're normally going to do before winter comes anyways. But like I said, we live in a milder climate, so we don't do a lot of this stuff until like December, until we have to, and sometimes not at all. So here's what we do. Clean and cover the barbecue. Cover up some of the plants, or wrap up some of the plants that need to be protected from cold, extreme weather. Blow out the irrigation lines in your water sprinkler system. Clean up the yard. Put your cars in storage. And I think that's about it for outside. We have a pretty low maintenance yard. If you have a gardener or a housekeeper or a food service or anything like that, you're going to want to make sure you cancel all of that as well. So basically that's the things that we do before we go away. So I hope this information was helpful. Sorry, Marty's away. He couldn't be here to talk about this too. You just got me, sorry. So thanks for hanging around and listening to all this. Okay, thanks. Mucho gracias.